All right, this is what we're gonna do. On some of these patterns and stuff that we cut apart yesterday, so it's just a big pile of them. I use these big plastic bricks. They're fairly heavy uh, to lay on these patterns right here and smooth them out. But first, I'm gonna let everybody know what I'm doing before I get to that point. These are some RV seats that, like in most cases on the new ones, that where they got the Fox leather on them, they just peel off. So that's what the video is about. We're redoing these seats, and the way you do it is you don't put the same stuff back on it. So we're going to take these patterns apart. We've already got a bunch of them took apart like this. We just cut them all apart and marked it all the way around. So what I'm going to do today is try to smooth some of these patterns out to where you can put them back together whenever you cut the patterns and stuff out. So that's where we're at this point right here. Had some more stuff to do, but I did save this right here for the video for the people that this type of stuff right here affects, and it's a lot of them. All right, let me see who else coming in here. I don't know why my phone won't show it up. It just shows it up for just a second and then it's off. Hello. So anyway, y'all were watching my sister, Helen from Georgia. She's got a pretty big following, and for the people that don't know who my sister is, Helen from Georgia, she's got a good video that she chats with a lot of people, and she's got a bunch of people that chat back with her. And my little bitty channel, I'm just trying to grow it. Okay. Anyway, with my video, I try to go back and read your comments, but I'm just kind of like a one-man band here, so doing this video. But anyway, I'm gonna show everybody this is what I do. I'm gonna show everybody that how to fix these seats, what they're gonna have to do it. It's kind of like a how-to, I guess, what you call it. And I'm gonna show you how to lay it out with the patterns and stuff. This stuff right here don't lay out as good as I thought it would with the patterns, but I will go back and read y'all's comments. So see, the vinyl's just off of it, so that right there's just kind of a thin looking cloth, so it don't have nothing to it much, but it does have like a piece of foam on the back side of it. It's very thin, and I do put stuff like that back on there, and I'll show you. Whenever I do the boxing and stuff, I will put it. It's a thin piece. I will put it back on there. And so I'm fixing to go ahead and get started. And hey, maybe it'll interest you if this is something that's happened to you. I know if you got a lot of money tied up in something that you're probably wondering how to fix it. I know you're sick. I have my customers come out here and they're sick. They tell me, what do I do? And I just try to tell them, hey, don't sweat it. It can be fixed. So you don't have to worry. It can be done. plug up some power to that. We don't want it to go down. So anyway, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut these things out in one piece. Like we're going to cut it out like in one, like the bottom, we're going to cut it out, and then we'll do the backrest. I always try to separate them out a little bit because I don't want them getting mixed up. But first, we're going to be, I've got to do a little bit of gluing. So if your glue gun looks like that and it's got a bunch of glue on it, all you do is just take this and screw it off and drop it in a cup of lacquer thinner. And I'm going to let that be soaking right there, and I'll come back and get it out just a little bit. You can take, see like this pattern right here, it's all, it's really wrinkled up, and even if you try to straighten it back out like that, it's probably going to wrinkle right back up. So the way you fix it is you can heat it up or you can steam it. A lot of times I just take and heat it like this, and I'll get it really, really, really hot. But this is not like regular vinyl. It don't work the same as you will with the normal stuff that you normally buy and put on there. You would think that it was expanded vinyl, but it's not. Alright, so I'll just lay it down like this. Take these blocks, lay it on top of it. That way I can kind of get a pattern out of it. Sometimes it will distort it a little bit, you know, to where you can't really get it out just right. This piece right here, I done laid it out. See, it's still got wrinkles and stuff in it, but that's enough I can still get the pattern out of it. All right. As a matter of fact, whenever you go taking some of this apart, you might want to take and write on it, you know, bottom, to where you'll know that it's come off the bottom seat. And I'm sure that right here come off the bottom. And this right here, it come off the bottom. This right here is the backrest. I tried to lay it out to where it would lay down to where I could cut it out. Hey, maybe these seats was at the beach, because they sure are appealing. See, and once it cools, it'll lay down a little bit, but it's still wrinkled up, but that's enough that you can still get all your patterns and stuff like that out of it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this stuff out and start cutting out some of these pieces. Just make sure I got all of them in the right pile. Right here. This is the bottom here. I'm gonna say that goes on that. Okay. So that's the backrest pile. This is the bottom right here. I may have to back y'all up where you can get a little bit better view. Trying to pull you on down. Okay. Here we are. There's the bottom. Probably what I'm gonna do is do the bottom first. Had to cut the air on. So we'll just blow them little snowflakes of vinyl away. Everyone did. I'm gonna have to look and see Miss Helen, which is my sister. I'm gonna have to look and see if I see her. All right. You see, this is 1 inch thick. What I could do is I can make it 1 inch thick. It don't have to be 1 inch thick, but I can double up the pieces if I wanted to. This right here is more of a 1/2 inch thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay these pieces up here and see if I can't make this happen pretty quick. What I think I'm gonna do is put this part right here in the center part, and I'm gonna put the tan on the outside edge. I kind of want to incorporate 2 pieces in it because this cushion here matches the couch, and this color right here is pretty close to it. So I want to put this in the center part, and inside that motor coach has got this color in it, so I'm kind of wanting to put some of this in it to where it kind of matches to what this couch is. That way it don't look like you took it out of another vehicle and just stuck it in there to try to get by. Anyway, when this is done, right here, I've got to make 2 because there's 2 seats. So see if I can locate my Sharpie. That's important. You got to have one of those. You can use a grease pencil, or you can use anything like that. That does have like a fold in it where somebody's folded it. I think it's going to be all right once it's foamed on there. I'm not 100% sure if I'm safe with that. I don't know. Can y'all see that line? It's like it's like a streak in it right here and one right here. So if you're not sure, I don't know if you want to take a chance on it. So I'm gonna roll it to the other side of the roll. I don't want to waste any because this is kind of a expensive material, and if you cut a yard of it off, then it could be like maybe $30. So we don't want to waste it. It does kind of look a little better. They always say inspect the roll, you know, before you start on it. So that might be a good idea. You don't want to get halfway through the roll and then you find something on it. If you think you might make a mistake doing this, you might want to do it with chalk. Alright, got this. Like I said, if you feel like you're going to make a mistake, you might want to do it with some chalk. So, the way they done this, you see from the factory, this right here, this line right here, this is where it was sewed. That's about 1 inch. Normally, it's a 1/2 inch. So I don't know why they did that and they did it all the way around it. I think they just kind of zip them together as fast as they possibly can. If you notice, that right there ain't very straight. See? It's not straight at all. They just throwed it in there. Really didn't, I mean, that's really not straight. I don't think that they really care that much. That's the line right there. And you can tell it's crooked. So whenever I'm doing it back, I can about look at it and tell where it's straight or not. So here we go. I would like for everybody to kind of see what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to take my Sharpie and alright. When I make these patterns like this, I'll take this pattern and I'm going to come right here and I'm going to cut this out. I do this a lot when I'm making patterns. Alright, so that's halfway and I fold it over right here to make sure that pattern right there is just right. And if you look at it, that's really, really close. If it's not just right, then you're going to want to take this Sharpie right here and you're going to want to write around it like this. Like that. And if you look at my line, you can tell that it's real close. So just to let you know. Anyway, whenever you cut these out, you know you're going to want to cut it 2 of them because you got 2 seats that you're covering. I know everybody's different, you know, with the way they do things. So I'm not saying that the way I do it is going to be exactly the way somebody else is going to do it. Just in case you've probably been watching somebody else. But I do this right here for a living, and I'm not knocking nobody else. As a matter of fact, I'm giving them a pat on the back for being able to do it, because it's kind of a hard job. Because every mistake that you make, if you make a mistake cutting this stuff out, it's very expensive. So, if that tells you anything. I'm going to try to straighten my camera up. Alright, so we got both of these pieces right here cut out. Always try to keep them together like this. So you put the pieces with the piece that you're going to cut. Here's another one. It's got a French seam that's busted in the middle right here. So I'm going to take and cut it apart. When you cut that seam right there apart, you have to allow an allowance like this right here. 1/2 inch to sew it back together. At least a 1/2 inch. Alright, remember I said what I was going to do with this piece? I'm going to take it and I'm going to do it with this brown over here. So you need to take these pieces like this. Like this. That's the boxing. This. That's the apron that goes around it, you know, to hide the frame. This. All these pieces right here are going to be in that tan color. So this right here, it's going to go on the around the part over here, and around this part over here. It's going to go around it, so I'm going to make this right here, the whole center part, out of this. If you don't have a whole lot of material, what you can do is what you can do is you can take and cut it right through here and right through here and seam it, and it don't look bad. A lot of them come that way, so you can do that and get by and save some material if you wanted to. A lot of people, they'll take it, they'll cut it right through here, put a French seam on it, stitch it on each side like that. It looks fine. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just kind of fix it back more of the way it came. But you might want to scoot your material around a little bit and try to save as much as you possibly can out of it. All right, let's see if we can do this and make it work. When I draw these patterns and stuff out like this, I drag my hand. Like this, I just drag my hand and hold the marker. It's easier to drag your hand and get a straight line than it is trying to do like this right here and mark it like that. So that's that's just my way. If you like doing it like that, you can. But I normally drag my fingers, so you don't have to do it that way if you got a different way. I left that a little bit big right there, away from my mark, because I'm gonna fold this side right here over. Like this. And just make sure that it's just right. And I'm gonna remark it. When you remark it and you're drawing on this stuff, the weight of that marker, you just let it drag along the edge like that, like this. You just drag it. Because if you push on it, it's easy to move that material. Okay. I just wanted to show you how much it could be off. You see that line right there? It's that much off, which it's it's less than the 1/2 inch, so I'm gonna cover that up when I sew it. But just to let you know how to build that pattern to where it's equal from this side to this side. You want them patterns just right. You see, it's a little bit different from this side to this side. And when I folded it over, I wanted it just right. That way, both sides look alike. It's easy to make both sides not look alike whenever you're doing something like this right here. I know they didn't care whenever they made the seats because it was on an assembly line and they just was getting it done. But if this was yours, you'd want me to do the best you can at it without cutting no corners, you know, and you don't want that. So it's easy. It's easy to just take your time and cut the patterns out. Remember what I just told you about tracing patterns? Letting the weight of the pen like this. You know, I'm not pushing on that. I'm just letting the weight of the pen like be up next to it like that. if you're doing it with chalk, you can just wipe it off. But if you're doing it with a Sharpie, that's, you can't push it. You got to very lightly draw that line. I mean, it's all right if I get a little bit on the back side right here. It's not gonna matter because it's gonna be covered up. This video right here, you know, it's a live video. It's just showing you exactly how long it's going to take. And I know I'm trying to explain it a little bit along the way, but this is how long it takes. So. It's a lot of cutting. You'll get good with scissors because you're gonna have to cut this out again. So once the foam's glued on it, I could have glued the pad to it and cut it out one time, but you know, when you got the pad glued to it, it's harder to fold that piece right there over and get your patterns and stuff just right because these patterns was all screwed up. All right, so here we go. We got this piece here. And here's the piece that it goes to. We'll just stick that on there. Alright, so there's that. There's this. That's the center part. The next step is to get the brown out that goes on because the boxing part's going to be in brown. What should I say? Bucks. Maybe you call it a buckskin. Tan. It's all still strung together, you know, so before you take it completely apart, you need to kind of mark it, you know what I mean, to let yourself know where it goes. All right, we'll mark this one 1, 2, or 2. It don't stay on this vinyl too good because it's peeling so bad. 3. 4. So we know all these right here line up just like that. This piece right here, this piece, this is what anchors the cover on. So whenever you start to sew it together, you're going to need to start right here. But you got really good memory. That way you know where to start. I wrote start on it, so it lets me know where to line that piece right there up. always remind yourself, unless you want to have to be doing this a lot, like trying to figure it out. If you, who's that, Sandra, maybe? If you do this right here, if you do this type work, there's just a whole lot to know. All right, so we can pull that off. You see, they just sewed it together to save on material. That's all it was just that angle. You know, could be a lot of wasted material right in this section right in here. So they did it to where they could get all the angles out of it and save as much as they possibly could. This right here, it looks so cheap. I don't know if I've ever seen any Velcro quite that cheap, but you know, it's just got a job to hold, you know. But that's about the cheapest Velcro I think I've seen. I've been doing this a long time. I mean, that's really cheap. They could have done better. All right, we're just gonna make this a little bit bigger where I can fold it over the edge. The driver's side of this seat right here, is the boxing. This part right here, I think, is a little bit different because of the its power. It's got power seats and stuff like that on it, so I'm thinking it's a little bit different. I'm making that about 1 inch all the way around it. So step up here at the top, I'm making it just right where it's sewed together. You might want to come up here and write the pattern that you got, the numbers that you got on here. You might want to put them on this pattern right here just to kind of keep up with it. Alright, so there's that. Remember, you got to make another set of these. So whenever you're doing this stuff, make sure that you allow for that. Alright, so we got all these patterns right here done. All you got to do is cut these right here out. This right here folds over like this. Probably wouldn't hurt if you bought yourself a sewing machine and started practicing a little bit before you tackle something like this. But you know, once you get it all down and you sew it out, I mean, you draw it all out, you take your time. You know, these seats right here are about what, almost $2,000, you know, to get them covered. So that ain't a bad saving, you know, once you do it. All right, so here's all the pieces. You see, that's the opposite right there. It goes on the other side. So, and we got them numbered. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how many it was on it. And then we got this piece right here, and this right here is hid. It goes behind this apron right here, so you don't never see it or even know that it's there. But this right here, these little hooks, these plastic strips, that's what anchors to the edge of the seat and holds the seat cover on. Then we got this piece right here. This piece right here goes in the back. That's Velcro right there. Hold on, got somebody knocking at my door. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, I'll cut this piece right here out real quick. If you get off your lines or think that you're a little crooked or something like that, you can always take a ruler like this right here and straighten it up if you think that you are, because it's always good to have your lines straight. You don't want it to look like what I just showed you whenever we started, how they had their stuff all screwed up. This does have the male Velcro on it. You hear how it sounds? And I'll show this part right here. The female Velcro. It still sticks, but it's pretty cheap. So you can pick up some Velcro about anywhere if you decide to do it yourself. Okay, so we got all the pieces right here cut. Now it's time to lay them back face to face. It'll be back to back. And trace these right here out. It goes pretty quick. I know a lot of people don't throw it on the floor, but hey, it's swept up before we leave most of the time. This video right here is not just for this video is for, you know, even if you've been doing it a long time. Remember, barely hold that pen on there. If you use black, you can, like I said, use chalk or a grease pencil. You can write all over it and still get it off. But this is a permanent marker here. That's 4. Yeah, that's 4. Write your little 4 on there. Keep up with it. Where it goes. So there's that. Here's the back piece right here. I cut it out last. I'll go ahead and cut it out now. You want to save as much material as you can, so you might have to move it around or turn the angles every which way you can, because the material kind of goes quick when you start cutting it up. Always keep these patterns that you cut out first, keep them separated. You get your patterns mixed up, it can be bad. You don't want to do that. So always keep your patterns straight. Whoops. Face down, just in case it's a little different. I'm sure it is. Alright, so I got all the patterns over there in a pile. You notice that these patterns right here has that, it's not even 1/8 of an inch. It's it might be less than 1/8. Anyway, it's pretty thin. I'm gonna put some back on it, but when I put it back on, it's gonna be a 1/4 inch pad. I'm gonna cut this right here off in a bigger piece, so whenever I put the foam on it, all I got to do is cut it out one time. Alright, so there's my piece. This is my box. Like I said, we'll keep these right here separated. And that's my shop phone. I don't never cut it. I don't never cut it off. So Okay, remember me telling you about this piece right here? They take and cut it in two, right in here. The reason that they did that was to save on the material, so that's what we're gonna take it back into like this, and we'll save on the material. Okay, so it's already apart. It's still gonna waste some material, so there just ain't a whole lot we can do about that. So you want to leave that 1/2 inch right here on the back side, right here where my finger's moving. You want to leave it right there, half. I just marked it like, I just put a dot on it right here where I would know, and a dot right here where I'd know, and I'm going to straighten it up because the pattern's so screwed up. That right there lets me know that that's straight. This piece right here, it's straight. When it's pulled this way and that way, it's kind of, it's just, it can be all out of whack, you know, a little bit. So I knew it had to be straight. All this foam that's on these RV seats looks as though it's got some sort of pad on it. Not like not very thin, but a little bit of, well, it's real thin. It's not a 1/4 inch. That looks kind of like a 1/4 inch, but it's fairly thin anyway. All right, so we're going to have some waste in here. This section right in here is going to be wasted. They just ain't no way around it. Unless we grind it up like they do in China and make this stuff right here. If you use a grease pencil on this stuff, whenever you're tracing this out, a grease pencil, this right here writes real lightly, and a grease pencil, sometimes you got to push it down a little bit harder. They do make a pen. It's called some type, I think it's silver something. I don't have one. You can wipe it off, they say. It might write easy. I have never tried it. Okay, so we got all these pieces right here. can't really get these pieces right here mixed up because one will fit on the other seat, so that's not really a mixed up situation here. Here's the pieces right here that these go to. What you're going to want to do is you're going to lay these right here down like this. Actually, this is the piece. Lay it down like this and mark where your plastic goes. Just like that. So now you know where them plastics go. Just like that. Okay, so these pieces right here, I'll take and sew them back together, just like they were when they came off, and that's the way they go, with the plastic back on them. These pieces right here turned. They turned around the edge of the seat, and that's where the backrest is attached, and where the hinge is, and that's one reason why it was all wrinkled up. They took and folded it like this and done it like this, put some hog rings in it, and you can kind of get an idea of how it went. But that's all it was. That's all it was for. Was that's all. All it's for is just to go around the hinge. So you're gonna need 4 of them. So I draw out 4 like this right here. Alright, so that's all the pieces cut out right there. Next thing to do is lay your foam out and lay these pieces up there, spray it, and once you get it all sprayed, you can start sewing some of it together. Got some foam right here. This is called a scrim back foam. It's got the backing on it right here. It's sew foam. It's what most people call sew foam. Hey, this is this type work right here is not for the if you're the type of person that's in a hurry or something like that. This probably ain't it. So we're going to use a different foam on that. Here's our bottoms. That's the center part of the bottom. I don't even think I cut the tail off of that right here. Okay, you take this, you lay it down backwards. We got these. I'm looking for my other pieces that was kind of round. It was big. What did I do? Here they are. These are the wasted pieces that goes in here. You see how I picked them up? I should have thrown them over here out of the way. Keep up with them patterns, because if you don't, it could make you do something over really quick. Hey y'all, I'm gonna get me a cameraman. I'm gonna get me a cameraman and see if I can. He probably ain't gonna say a whole lot, but at least I can make a better video with him, I think. You want to turn these pieces to where you can get the most out of the foam. In the past year, this foam's actually went up about $100 a roll. So you want to save as much of it as you possibly can. Alright, here's that piece right here that was I put in the lacquer thinner earlier to clean this off. It does clean it off real good. Where to spray like it's supposed to. This glue will set in this gun for a good week and won't mess up. So it keeps the air out of it, so it don't dry out. Maybe you can still hear after I cut this fan on. Unless you have a real good ventilation, you probably don't want to spray this inside. You might want to go outside or put your fan up or something. I guess you can hear my fan going. It's pretty big. And if you got any heat in here or anything like that, it's going to pull it out. So. This is Wellwood glue. It's a contact cement, so if you better know where you're going to put it before you stick it, because if you don't, if you you stick it while it's just a little bit tacky, you might can pull it back up, but if you let it sit just right, you won't be able to get it back off. That's why I spray this vinyl right here on there first. It gives me an outline of where the patterns was when I first sprayed them, and then I can take and sit them up here right where they were, because I got an outline like that. Normally I don't wait till it gets completely to where I can't stick it and pull it back up, but because if it touches like this right here, it will stick if it ain't just right. Okay. Remember I told you had to cut it twice? Well, this is it. If this glue ain't quite dry all the way, it'll stick to your scissors. Then you gotta kind of clean them up. Alright, y'all. It's this is like shelling peas again. You know, it's like just takes some time. You might want to take your time, you know, because you don't want to cut into your pattern and stuff. Always be real careful when you're cutting it out. Okay, got those pieces right there cut out. now would be the time if you was going to like put a pattern or something in these seats, like these right here. They came with a, if you see right here, what they did was they came with like a French seam right through here and right through here. It wasn't nothing but looks. They might have did that right there to where they could get, instead of wasting some of this material right here like this, you know, if you're making hundreds and hundreds of these seats, that would add up to a pretty good bit. So what they probably done was they took some of this and said, hey, we'll just take that piece right there and we'll make this right here and we'll cut it and sew it together. And that could be why they put that in there. I don't know. I'm just saying that I know that they do stuff like this right here for reasons of making it to where they don't waste a whole lot of material. So instead of me doing it that way, I could just take it like this right here, maybe fold it over right on the back side. Don't want to write on it with a permanent marker, you know, on the front. So you could use chalk or grease pencil on that right there. I could come right here and like put 1, 2, 3, 4, slide it down. And just put me a couple of lines on it. Before you do though, you might want to make sure that you got it just right. 4, so that is 4. That right there is 3 3/4, and that right there's 3. So you see, whenever they done this right here, when they done their pattern, this crap right here is all crooked. Remember I showed you that from the start? Look how far, that's 1 inch off right there. It's a 1/2 inch over here. So whenever they done it, they really were not concerned about somebody getting in there with a ruler like this right here. But I can look at it because I've done this right here for a long time. So I can look at it and tell. So what I'm going to do is come right here and I'm going to move over a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to come right here and I'm going to move this back side over a 1/2 inch. Because when I made that pattern, they made this right here. See, I've straightened it up by moving it over this way. They made this pattern all crooked right here from the factory because they really didn't care 2 hoots about it. I can take this piece, my other piece, being I'm making the seats, they are just alike. It's just one's on one side, one's on the other. So I'm just going to take these, go ahead and mark them. Okay, so we got them little patterns right there done. This is done. This right here, this right here is this piece will go inside here, like that. Probably what I would do is sew this right here first because it's going to draw it up. These 2 lines might make it that much. Let's see, that much, not much. It's going to draw it up a little bit. Then I'll go around it, like right in here, and see how much bigger it is. I can look right here and tell that was way inside on the seat. Y'all don't even want to know. It's like These RV seats, when they make them, they just kind of throw them together. I hate to say it like that, but they're in such a, well, anyway, we'll come over here and sew this right here on real quick. I'll line it up right here where you can see. There's my sewing machine. Move this right here back. Okay, maybe you can see. I'll bring you in a little bit closer where you can kind of get a look and see what's going on. That's got black thread in it. I'm thinking that I want to put this gray in it right here. See if I can find some. This right here looks closer to it, but you always need to match up your colors pretty good when you're sewing this stuff up. Let me look and see if I can find some gray. Oh Lord, they ain't never the exact right color. It don't seem like. Let's see what this looks like. That ain't it. I'm thinking maybe that color goes with it more. Alright, I'm rolling a bobbin. That way I can, once I roll this bobbin on here, like this, right there, I'll be able to put it on the bottom side. So I'm going to take this bobbin out, go ahead and roll that up. You know, you can sew and wind at the same time, so that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna be sewing some of this and winding my next bottle. Alright, so I just picked up the bottom bobbin. For some reason it don't want to. There it went. Don't know exactly what's going on with that bobbin. Oops, I do know what's going on with it. It come off as I was putting it in, wrapped around the. Now. Alright, so now we're ready to sew these lines right here. Maybe you can see that. I want to sew these lines right here, and give me a pair of scissors I can handle real quick. I know a lot of people on here show you how to sew like that. They'll be going real slow, like that right there, showing you how to sew like that. But I'm not going to do that, you know. I just need to sew it like that right there and going to get it. You don't have to go real slow like that. Even if you're learning, you probably need to learn how you're going to sew from the start. And if you look, it's on the line, so they are sewed straight. It might be easier to mess up if you go too slow. When I reach over here and raise this reverse, you can't even see it, can you? When I reach over here and raise this, that's the reverse. So you, when you start off, to keep it from unraveling, you reach over here, you sew just a little bit, like this right here, maybe a couple of stitches like that. Reach over here, reverse it. That locks that stitch in, and it's not going to unravel then. And after you've done this for a long time, you do this right here, and you don't even realize really that you're reaching over there, hitting that reverse. Okay, so we didn't put the French seam in it, but what we done was we just pleated it like this right here. Wipe some of the dirt off of my sewing machine. But now we're gonna go over there and I'm going to show you how to make this pattern right here. Make sure that this pattern right here works in that center part that we cut out. So let's go do that. Also, before we go over there, I'm going to show you this right here. You see this seat right in here? How big they made this right around in here? Look how big it is. I mean, it's like really big. As a matter of fact, here's the pattern right here that goes in there. And look how much bigger it is than the pattern. See? It's like way over here. You got to take a 1/2 inch off of this right here to sew it in. So they made this, when they made this piece right here, they made it allowing for something. I don't know. I mean, most of them aren't like that. So I'm gonna show you this right here. I know that camera's probably going crazy. Let me see. All right. Okay, we're talking about this piece right here. This right here. This piece. Making sure that you're able to sew this piece in here like this. What we're going to do is we're going to lay it like this right here. We're going to mark it, find out the center on it. So there's my center mark. We'll fold this one right here the same way. There's my center mark. I can't see that on that side, so I'm just going to put me a line right there where I can. And this one's the same way, so I'm just going to mark it. Alright, just like this. I'm gonna lay this up here, just like this right here, like that, and I'm gonna mark around it on this piece of foam. Alright, if you see that, you can tell how much bigger this piece of foam is than this. And if you look at this piece right here that we pulled out of it, but I don't know if that's it. But let me see if I can find the pattern to it. Come on. That goes on the backrest. So this is the bottom here. Okay. Alright, so it is actually the bottom. You see that this pattern and this pattern are the same size. They're just alike. So let's see if this one right here is just alike. If you look right there, this pattern and this pattern is just alike. So they had that piece sewed in there, and that's the reason right there that they took up that 1 inch right here. They took it up, and they're all the way around it. They just went real big with it, trying to make this oversized piece right here fit in there. Ain't that something? Something all right. Alright, so for me to sew it in, a 1/2 inch piece, which this is a 1/2 inch right here, I'm going to look back here until about where it's at on both sides. Line it up, and I'm going to mark around it. Alright, so for me to make this piece right here fit in there by sewing a 1/2 inch, I'm going to have to come in here like this. And I'm going to draw inside that line right there 1/2 inch. Come right over here and draw in 1/2 inch to make this pattern that I got fit when I sew it in. Now I know I got a bunch of lines in there. You can kind of scribble them right there out. You don't want to get caught up with them lines. That's the way it is. So now I have to take this pattern and lay on top of this pattern to get the actual true measurement from it. Now we got this piece. We know this piece right here is going to fit in there like it's supposed to, just like that. When I sew it in, that piece will be in there. If you look at this other pattern right here, if you look at that seat, you can tell this part right in here, right in here, it ain't, all it is just sewed in. It ain't nothing fancy or nothing. It's just kind of just sewed in. They didn't even put a French seam around that right there. They just put a layover on it. So they throwed them together, kinda. Not necessarily throw them together. I mean, I don't sound too harsh, but they didn't do a fantastic job. Let's just say that. Not to be, and I don't talk about other people's work, but these seats right here were like just kind of sewed together, so to speak. Alright, so we're going to take these center inserts like this right here. I always normally just sew around them. You don't have to. Like I said, you don't have to do this right here. This ain't something that's it's just something I always do it. you got 2 seats to do, I'll just always do both of them at the same time. Like both bottoms. That way whenever I'm done sewing, I'm done. Okay, got all these pieces like sewed around right there, so that's gonna be good. And now I'm gonna take this piece right here, I'm gonna fold it halfway, find the center mark on it, like this. Like that. Maybe could probably tilt y'all down just a little bit. Alright, can you see better? I hope. Fold it, always get your center mark because you work from the center out. If you're sewing around this right here, you want them 2 V's right here to line up. Can you see that? You want these 2 V's right here to line up. If you're a 1/4 inch off and you're coming around this way like this right here, and you're a 1/4 inch off right here, by the time you get back here, you're gonna be a 1/2 inch off. So this is very important. With furniture, you can get by with it because you can fold it and do all that kind of crap and get by. But you cannot get by doing car seats like that. You make a mess. Alright, so I'm going to come right here. You can take and go around it. Like a lot of people start in the center right here. Like they just start right here. And then they'll turn the thing back around and go back the other way. I've just always done it a little bit different. Like I said, everybody can do it, you know, their own way. But I've always done it a little bit different. I always go back around here, like that, walk back around, like that. So I'm just going to go around like this, like that. You can walk it around like that. Sew from this side if you want to, or you can walk it around like this right here and sew it from this side. So I'm going to come just like this. Line my mark up right here. And I come around just like this. And I'm catching a half an inch. A lot of times when you go into these curves right through here, this curve right through here, right through here. Sometimes you have to push just a little bit, not a lot, not enough to gather to nothing like that, but just a little bit to where to lay down. So I just passed my mark, it's lined up perfect. You don't never pull in this curve. Okay. Whenever you sew this together and you go around this curve right here, you don't pull it. You don't take and pull that piece and make it smooth sewing around. You just take and keep a little bit of pressure on this piece right here that I'm moving with my finger right here, and you go around it. But you don't gather it, you just push it a little bit, and you see how it's laying down. If you pull it coming around here, this piece right here, it's gonna be standing up like that. Does that make any sense? These little bitty, where I folded it over, these little bitty wrinkles right here, I can steam them and they'll come right out. But you see, it already lined up, so it lined up at the back side. Both patterns are just alike. I don't have to do all that measuring and stuff like that. I can come right here now, like this, and I can roll this piece over, and I can go ahead and just sew it on, because I know both patterns are just exactly alike. Alright, I'm looking at my V right here, right in the middle. It lined up perfect, so I can push it a little bit. Notice that I'm pushing this right here like this. Not enough to gather, just giving it enough pressure that it's laying down all the way down. There's a lot more to sewing than just meets the eye. Alright, and you see it's laying down. All this is flat. If I pulled it, it'd be standing up. If I pulled it on one side, it's gonna stand up on one side, and it's not gonna fit just right. So there you go. I can sew the tail on here, right across here. Then I can sew the boxing that goes around here. I know y'all saying something. Let me see. Can you believe I'm actually watching? Yeah. I'm just telling you. This is the way it's done. I've been doing this 43 years. I know exactly everything. It's like I can do it with my eyes closed. I've been told by thousands of people that I'm good at this. I have people coming from everywhere that I wouldn't think that they would drive from another state to get me to do their stuff, but I'm fortunate that they do. So if I can share this with somebody and then they learn something from this, and I don't just die and like never shown somebody that wanted to learn, because you know when you're gone, you can't say, hey, can I help you? So anyway, I'm gonna sew this boxing on here. me see. I'm looking for it, y'all. I'm looking. Okay, I didn't cut the tail out. This is the tail right here, but it's easy peasy, you know, to cut it out. So I'm just gonna take and cut it like this. I see where it's been marked, but it's so easy, you know. This piece right here is just a tail that goes on the back, and they hard ringed the seat down with it. They didn't even fold it over. They didn't make it fit real good or nothing. So normally I would take and sew a loop in it and go to the bar or wherever it was, but they didn't do that. I'm just gonna kind of put it back on just the way they had it. This piece right here ain't even seen. None of that is. It does have a lip that goes around here, that goes around the hinge. And what it is you see it comes right here and it goes around like this right here. Well, what it is when the boxing's sewed on that goes around here, that's when you sew this piece right here on. That way you attach it to the boxing over here and you go around here, and that covers your hinge up. So the next piece to put on would be the boxing. And I'm thinking what I was going to do with that boxing was put a 1/2 inch pad on it. So I'm going to take the camera over here. I'm going to show you how to put a 1/2 inch pad on there. Alright, here we are, back to the doggone drawing board. Alright. Rusty Bucket. Okay, I did read your name. But I can't see that little writing really well. Believe it or not, I do have a big flat screen I'm gonna put in here. I think that's gonna help things out. I bought a whole bunch of stuff to help make these videos like really a whole lot better. This is the pieces right here that was like the apron part. It goes around. It's just like I said, just the apron. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the boxing, and this right here is the boxing. It went like this. I don't think I cut that out yet. Alright, so if you look, you can tell the boxing is different. This piece right here is longer than this piece right here. So I can't make these just alike. Wait, I had it upside down. Yes, I can make them just alike. I'm wrong. They say it takes a bigger man to admit when he's wrong. So I was wrong on that. I looked at it crooked. Alright, so I'm gonna cut these boxings out and I'm gonna sew these right here on to the seat. Here's the bottom. I'm gonna try to keep this stuff right here together. We're not going to use a 1/2 inch pad. We're going to use we're going to use the 1/4 inch pad. This right here works just as good. This is it's called they called it scrap headline in case it had a little bitty something or on it or something like that. That's what they call it. So, it serves the same purpose as 1/4 inch pad, and that's about 1/4 inch right there. So we're going to take wherever my patterns is. I was thinking that I cut them out. Maybe I got to look for them. Let's see. Okay, here's my patterns right here. No, that ain't them. But I do have to glue some pad on there, on these. I'm not 100% sure if I cut. I'm not 100% sure if I cut these out, because that's a pretty big piece, and I would sit up here if I did. So this boxing was going to be done in the tan, like this right here. Alright, so I'm going to take this piece right here, get me a marker. I can find it again. Alright. I'm going to take this. You see this waist right here from here down? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up just a little bit, like that. That way, I'm going to turn this piece right here around and go right in here and save on some of this material. All right. I can cut a straight line. I can cut a straight line with these scissors, and I can draw sometimes. Okay. I'm going to take this piece right here, like we talked about earlier, and I'm going to cut that right there out. Now this right here is two pieces just alike. You see how it's facing up? That's the face. If I was cutting it out for the other side that I needed, I would be cutting it with this right here down, like that. But I got two seats, so I got to cut it. I mean, I got to make both boxes. Alright, then I'll take and put both of them right there. This one and that one will be cut out face down. Need to always remember, keep that in mind of cutting opposites when you're making this stuff right here. You'll be able to cut out a whole bunch of pieces that you don't need if you don't watch it. Okay, so both of these right here will be cut out face down where I can get my, like this. piece, face down. This piece right here, face down. See now, I'm only wasting this section right in here. Not wasting a whole bunch of material. Some of this material can be $200 a yard. This right here is not, but some of it can be $200 a yard. You don't want to make no mistake and cut it out wrong. Cut out a piece that you're gonna have to eat. Alright, I left these right here together because I'm gonna glue them at one time, and then I don't have to cut them out but once. Alright. That wasn't so hard, was it? Okay, I'm gonna take these pieces right here. Take this piece right here. Let's glue it. Alright, this right here, you need to, that's pretty wet, so it's going to take just a minute for it to dry. But if you go ahead and stick it, down, you can pull it and adjust it if you have to. So, if that makes like this, I can stick it and then pull it back up. If I let it sit too long, that window of opportunity is over with once you touch it. So this is contact glue, and it will stick. And when it does, it's like a turtle. It don't like to give it up. It will make you have to redo it. I'm gonna put a little bit more on that because I moved up some. So that's it. All I gotta do is come right here, trim these pieces out. There you go. Alright, almost got it cut out. Probably a good idea to have some sharp scissors on hand. Alright, there we go. Got all the pieces cut out. We'll come right on around here. We'll sew this right here on. Remember I told you from the start, we'd take and sew some of this stuff together as we was going. Kind of eliminate having a whole big old pile to sew up at one time. Let's see. Maybe that's it. Okay. We know this back part right here is the tail part. We're gonna come right here. We're gonna take this piece right here, and I'm gonna sew these two together. Alright, so there's one. Here's two. Just take and line them up. Alright. When you start doing something like this, sometimes you might want to check that bottom bobbin. You'll see how far you got to go. You know, if it's Lord have mercy. Okay, that's not it. That's a whole different one. Anyway, you want to check your bottom bobbin to see how far you got to go. I don't even know where that bobbin went. It like took off. Since I got the brown thread on the bottom, I'm just gonna fold. I'm sewing backwards right here. I'm just gonna sew it like this right here. Make it lay down. Normally I would always sew that from the top. And you fold this right here, go back to the basics, and you find your center right here. So you just cut a little V in it, like that. That lets you know that you're in the center. You come right here. Find your center mark, and you go. You can start in the center. A lot of people do that. I have a friend of mine that does upholstery work. He starts. That's where he starts. Is he starts in the center and he flips it back around. I wouldn't. I never. I'm self-taught, and I was never showed to start in the center and flip it back over. So I'm one of them. Maybe it does it a little different. Ain't saying it's wrong. Make that curve. Give yourself that slack right in there. Like, don't gather it, but don't pull it. YouTube tells me to watch other videos of doing what I'm doing. I have. To sew that top stitch on, I'm going to have to change the thread right here. You don't have to put but one knot in there. You can pull it through, save yourself from having to do all the going through the tension. Here we go. I know y'all can't see that, but I'm gonna bring you over here. I'm gonna let you see what's going on. Like this. Okay, maybe you can see now. What I do is I take and pull this apart like this right here. Whenever I'm sewing this, I can look at this foot right here and tell how far apart I need to keep it away from the line to make sure it's straight. They do make feet, certain feet, like this one right here. You see it's got this on here. It lines it up. They do make them, but I do change them sometimes, but I'm not changing it this time. You did this all day, you'd have some real strong shoulders. Remember that piece I was telling you a while ago that goes around here? You come around, well, let me show you. You come around here, and around here, it covers up the hinge. So now this piece is on here. So this piece right here could be sewed on. They folded it and everything else, you know, so they didn't do a real good job on it. And the reason this is sewed on here is to where the seats will match the rest of the stuff that's in the RV. You know, I ain't saying that's my favorite pick, but hey, he wanted it to match the cushions on the couch, and this does match the cushions on the couch, and we're trying to get this stuff right here to match what's in the rest of the RV instead of it looking like the seats was took out of some other RV. So you want it to match as good as you can. Even though I don't think this right here, this khaki color, goes real well with this right here. But it looks better than it did when it was peeling. So we'll go with that. While I'm doing this, I am going to go ahead on and sew this piece right here on. I'll try to make this right here fast as I can, to where it ain't taking up too much time. And we'll test fit it and see what it looks like. Alright. Certain things on upholstery work you can't really speed up, and one is making sure that it's just right. It does have to be, or you'll be taking it back apart. So you don't want to do that. Alright, remember that V right there and this piece right here? It's very important that that right here lines up right here. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll test fit this right here and just make sure that everything's going like it's supposed to. I still got to sew the tail back on this one right here like I did the other one. So what we'll do is I'm gonna take the seat over there. This video right here, we'll finish this right here up. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna test fit it, and I'm gonna show you some things that you need to do before you test fit it. Alright, here's one of the things that you're going to need to do before you test fit it and make sure that it's going to be just right. This seat right here, the way I'm going to show you some things about this seat right here, the way it looks and the way it's made. Alright, so if you look at this seat, you'll see that this right here is folded back. You see it's going back that way, like that, where it's crushed in, right in here, where it's been set on a little bit. That right there, the cover, a lot of times does that right there whenever they push it back in. But even on this new of a seat, like right in here, I would say it needs to be steamed. So before you test fit it, you probably need to steam it. Being this is a video, I'm not gonna take the time, you know, to try to do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this cover on here and just let's see where we're at and what it's gonna look like. All right. If you remember, that said spam, so we're not going to answer it. Okay. All right. This part right in here is like glued right in here, glued down. So whenever I glue this part right here down, it'll look a lot better when all this right here is pulled down and make it look a little tighter. So we know this right here is going to fit. And whenever we get up here to this part, all this up here, we know that's going to fit. And I'm going to show you the difference that it's going to make. I know I've showed you on different videos and stuff like that, but I got the steamer right here going. And if you look at this, you'll be able to tell that what it does is it'll bring it right back to its original state where it was before it was ever put on. And sometimes it's a good idea. It makes the cover look fuller, and it just makes it look a lot better once you take and steam it out just a little bit. It don't take much time to do it. And I'll show you on the cover once we put it on. Any little old imperfection like a wrinkle or something like that steamer right here, take it right out. It's good to have a good steamer. So, hey, I know the background of my shop looks like crap, y'all, but hey, I do a lot of work out here, and we do clean up kind of on the weekends, clean up a little bit, pick up, but it's hey, you know, this is a lot of shops that you might see online. They're not the real deal. This is the real deal. This is how it's done. It takes a little while to do it. Every now and then I might change a little bit of stuff around, but if you want to learn upholstery work and you think this right here can help you, just tune in, like, subscribe. A lot of times we do a lot of cool things. I mean, it ain't just something boring like this right here. You know, so, but this is the basics. I'm trying to show you something that's not going to be that would overwhelm you and say, there ain't no way in the crap I can do that. So I want to do something that's simple, like this right here, to where you can kind of get an idea if you want to learn. But some things ain't going to be as simple, and it could take you a long time to master it. But thank you for tuning in. I'm going to finish these up on my next video to where you can kind of see what they're going to look like whenever they're finished. Let me see some of your comments. Well, thank you. That's Monique. Thank you. And anybody else that said thank you, I didn't get to read their comments, but thank you. And maybe you know, it's never boring learning something new if it interests you. And so thank y'all. Thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.